my channel. Make sure you subscribe, like and comment.
Hello, guys. Welcome once again to another recap review of Love Marriage Detroit. So we at episode. What's today's episode? Uh, I have
Episode 2.
forgotten.
Wait, season 2,
Episode
I know
4.
that. Yeah, we're about
Episode
4.
4. Yeah, episode 4. Yeah, now I remember. Episode 4. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the episode. We started off with the episode with the outing between Brandon, Anthony, LaToya, and Kristen. And today's episode, we're having a chat about their friendship, how to go from there. Um, the first thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that LaToya kept on saying people were talking about Christine, and people were talking about Christine, and Christine was like, say the names, say the names. The first thing that came to me, I was like, one thing, first of all, if you keep on telling me that people are talking about me, you should prepare to tell me those people's name. But I also understand that if, as a person, like I'm the person, and people told you something about somebody, I don't think I want to snitch on them to tell the person who and who they were talking about them. But in order not for people to question you or your morals, I think you should not even be saying, oh, people were talking about you, the street is talking about you. Because, of course, if you come on me telling me the street is talking about me, I want to know those that are on the street talking about me. I want you to mention names, which I know that she was never going to say. But her talking about it like that, I didn't like it because you know you were never going to say the name, but you kept on repeating that people were talking about it. As much as she has repeated that people were talking about you, at this moment I feel like she just say the names of the people that were talking about her. So we can find out whether it's true or not. That's just my feeling about it. And secondly, when it came to the fact of taking accountability of the issue, I felt like Christine was trying to make it look as if Latoya is the cause of every fracture in their friendship. At the end of the day, it takes two to tango. Yes, one person must have, lit the fire, but you went into the fire together. So I feel like her being like, oh yeah, she's taking a little bit of accountability. Christine also has a point of taking accountability in also the friendship between Latoya and her ruining, and the way that she's making it look as if Latoya is the person that is destroying it. And it speaks volume that amongst all the ladies in the group, everybody is just like closed off to only you. Um, like, how would I put it? They speak on you. Well, I don't want to judge on that because I know sometimes people just misconstrue your behaviors and your reaction. Um, but I feel like at this point, the both of them needs to take accountability, not only Latoya. And the fact that the husbands were trying to like I didn't like the way the husbands were also trying to brush it under the table, being like, let's keep a clean slate. How do you keep a clean slate when you've not talked about the first thing that caused the damage? And that's why, you know, later on in the future, something happens, and it's not that big of a thing. It's not that serious, and they start fighting, you just be surprised, like, where did it come from? Where did this fight come from? I wasn't expecting that. You will not know that it's that thing you swept under the rug that has manifested again. So me, I didn't like the fact that the husbands were trying to rush up the both of them to try. I felt like they were doing it for their own selfish reasons. They wanted to be friends, and in order for them to be friends and be able to hang out together and have fun, the wives had to be friends. So they were just trying to, like, you know push everything under the rug without really, really, really addressing the issue. Those are just my points about that meeting between Anthony, Brandon, and um, Christine and Lotoya. If you have your own opinions about that meeting, you can let us know.
Well, I just feel like it just kind of looks like LaToya's kind of stirring the pot a little bit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's not her business to know who's friends with who. I understand. You don't go through your friends
Yeah.
list when you're saying, hey, well, who don't you like, and who do you get along with, and you
Yeah.
know, when you're having a party, you just like, hey, look, I'm gonna invite this person, this person, this person. You know what I'm saying? Because you're thinking about all the elements that's gonna make your party come together. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, I just felt like LaToya's kind of stirring the pot a little bit, you know.
Mm.
And I think Christina, it seems like she's not willing to let things go, And I remember uh, last season how Christina was like almost bite LaToya's head off about certain little things, you know what I'm saying? So I believe that they're both guilty of not trying to cultivate a pure relationship with each other. They're gonna, it seems like they're gonna always have this bickering back and forth between them two and never being on the same page. You know, I
Yeah.
don't think that they're gonna fully squash all this, you know, because I don't know. Christina, she just seems like she likes to bicker. She seems like she likes to argue. Like, don't bring it here because I will argue my point across until everybody's tired of hearing my voice. And I am at the point where I am almost tired of hearing her voice. And I think, yeah, and the guys, they want to get together. Like you said, they want to get together. They want to have a good time. You know, all this bickering back and forth, it's minute, you know, it's just when
Mm.
you put hands on people, then that's when we've crossed the line of no return. And thank God it hasn't even gotten to anything like that, you know. And it's good that they can sit back and have a conversation.
Yeah. I actually like that they could sit down and have a conversation because that was necessary. That was really necessary for them to have. But I feel like I didn't just like the way the husbands were just trying to manage and rush the situation. Because for me, I prefer for us to really, really squash the issue so that tomorrow there will be no, sometimes we just, because of all those things that we did not really, really, deal with, it ends up hurting us later on. So me, I didn't want that where the husbands, maybe the fight that they will fight about will be about something very stupid, and the husbands will be like, "What the hell are you guys fighting over this thing for?" Without knowing that it's because they didn't really deal with all the trauma and all the baggages from before, and that's why it's
Mhm.
like that. That's just my own stance. But anyway, that's them. If it's good for them, it's good for them. I'm telling you, that's them. If it's good for them, it's good for them. Well, moving forward, we had Russell and Kobe meet up, and Kobe went to meet Nick's gym, and they started having conversation about the fact that he's not always like there's no time. He has businesses. He's going to pastoral school. He's opening the gym. It's still new. They're trying to build it. For me, when I heard all those things, I felt like there's something called doing too much on yourself, like putting too much stress on yourself. Because why do you have so much businesses? You decided to open a new gym at the same time you're going to pastoral school. I feel like I understood where Kobe was coming from. I understood where she was coming from, but I don't think her husband understood where she was coming from. I don't think. And I don't think it's also fair for the fact that he is um he is doing all these things at the same time she's pregnant and expecting. And so I know that she has had to pick up some slack from the fact that he's never always coming home at on time, and they always see him late, all those kind of things. There's some things she has to start doing by herself because he's not going to always be around. So I feel like I do understand where she was coming from, and I feel like it's unfair on Kobe that her husband decided to do everything he decided to do on this planet Earth the same time frame. I feel like you should have given it a distance. Like, okay, say right now you want to do your pastoral school, then the gym should have waited after the pastoral school, then you open your gym, or you open your gym, then you give yourself maybe like 2 years to build the gym and get the business rolling. Then after 2 years you can then go and attend your pastoral school. But I feel like that's why I just feel like him doing everything at once is just, and it's not fair. That's just my opinion actually.
Okay, well, I don't know. I'm kind of looking at it like this. Like,
Yeah.
Kolby is a content creator,
Creator.
correct? Okay, I
Yeah.
don't know how often you get paid, how much money you make. I have no clue. You know what I'm saying? If it's
Yeah.
steady income or what. Is it downtime because she's pregnant right now? I don't know. But I look at it like he's supporting the family. I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty sure he probably would like to come home and sit up on the couch and eat some snacks, and you know that sounds wonderful right about now. But when you got a family and you're in charge of this family, so everything that this family needs has to come from you because you're the provider. Yeah, if you got a business mind and you got the money to back it and business sense,
Yeah.
yeah, you're gonna open this business and help people have you run this, and you're gonna open this business. And if you say, hey, but my passion is I want to go to school to learn because I'm passionate about this book right here. You know what I'm saying? I'm passionate
Mm-hmm.
about what it says in this book, and I like to apply it in my life and in other people's lives too, to see if I can make a difference. That's his passion. You know, I don't think it's a wrong time, anytime, to go after your passion. We're only here for a little while. You know what I'm saying? And I also feel like if there's money to be made, make it while you're young. Make it now. You know, if if there's money out there, it got to go to somebody. Why not it be you? You know what I'm saying? So I kind of looked at it, on his side of the things that he has to do in order to make this family stay afloat. You know what I'm saying? And I understand her point of view too. Hey, it seems like you could get up and go whenever you want to. You could do the things you want to do. But me, I got to think ahead and make arrangements and comb hair and make sure everybody's full and nobody's in a bad mood. I understand. But this is part of being a woman, part of being a wife, and part of being a mother. Those things come hand in hand, you know? And yeah, sometimes you do have to take over the brunt of everything that's going on in the house. All the different personalities. You sleepy, this kid don't want to go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this kid don't want to eat this kid don't want to eat that. You know, you clean up something, they mess it right back up. Been there, done that. It's all a part of the part in life that you were born to play. Only the strong survives. You got to learn how to manage it and at the same time take care of yourself. It's a hard job. We don't get paid for it, you know, but it's the role we have to take on if we're going to be a wife and a mother. So I understand both sides of the coin.
Yeah. Um, and
And
now
I think her.
now you
Go
said
ahead. No, I was just gonna say, and I think maybe her hormones were playing a big part too, because she was like all over the place.
now you've explained it in your own way. I've started thinking like that because for me, but still, even if yes, is the main provider and is trying to provide the best for his wife, I still think that there's something called timing. Just don't bombard yourself with a lot of things at the
Right,
same time.
right. I mean, I get it. I get both sides, but like I said, money ain't gonna sit around and wait for you. It ain't gonna sit here and say, unfiltered Uzo, I'm over here. Come grab me. Here's some dollars, girl. Here's some hundreds. Here's some thousands. It's not gonna
Mm,
do that. It doesn't wait for you. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
So, like they said, the early bird gets the worm. It's the truth. You sleep late. By the time you wake up, the worms are gone.
Yeah. Well, I for me still they are still the best couple that um I like
Oh yes.
in the show. So I know that at the end of the day they will still walk through whatever they have. Now, going back to Christine and Brandon. Brandon came to the house and they were talking about the fact that he's been out of the house for a long while. Does he have plans of coming in, coming back? They brought the kids, they talked to the kids. But before we go ahead and talk about the conversations they had with the kid and everything, my first question is for somebody that is saying and making mouth and talking about the way that he he is so interested in the marriage. He wants to come back. I can count for how many times that Brandon has said, "I want to come back." What? What's those cats for? Hey, stabilize again. Sorry, my cat felt something. He said like that. Eh?
Oh, okay.
What's that? What are they for? Oh God, what were they doing? It would be that they are going there to fight. I'm really sorry. Can
No
you hear me?
worries. Yes, no worries. No worries.
They literally, I have repaired that electronic before. They spoiled it and I repaired it just few weeks back. Now they've gone there again and spoiled it again.
Oh my.
Man, it's bad.
Cats are
Wait,
like having kids.
uh,
Unpredictable.
and the wood fell. Sorry, hold on.
Okay.
It's to just finally look for do this key of this kitchen. Sorry, guys. Ah, God. I'm just thinking about the expenses I have to make again. Anyways, let's go back to what we're talking about. Or we're talking about the fact that I was saying that I've never seen how somebody talks about how much he wants to come back to the marriage. So many times, this is just 4 episodes, and I've heard that conversation from him so many times. But for him to say he doesn't know where his ring is at, that part, I don't know how Christine or Christina or however she calls herself, but for me, that was like, yeah, you need to check that out. That was it for me. At that moment, I was thinking in my head like, for because there's something about when you cherish something so much and you want something, there's a certain behavior or attitude you would exhibit. And I don't think I have really seen that in Brandon. I don't think I have. He's like talking about, I think he just talks the talk and he doesn't. There's a difference between talking. You can you can say what you want to say with your lips, but do you actually feel that? Because for somebody that is talking about how much he really, really does want to come back to the house, love on his wife, you don't know where your ring is at. That ring is everything. She has been off from the she also has separated from her husband for a while, but she still knows where her ring is at. She knows where the ring is at. So why is he missing or forgetful of where his ring is at? That's my first question. And I think at this moment, I think Christine is just over the fact that, okay, I want to get my husband back at home, that she's not really looking at the clear picture that, yeah, things might not just be all right like she feels like it is. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny about the ring. Like, if you're gonna take it off your finger, at least put it where you know you're gonna be able to find it. Maybe he took it off because hey, he's Mr. Single Guy. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, and I think she kind of knows the reason why he can't find it. If you lost it, replace it. You know, and it just kind of tickled me a little bit because I just went through this yesterday. You know, my husband looked for his ring and he goes, "It's not here." And I'm like, "What? Really? Let me look." I went and looked. Oh, okay, it's not there. You know, and he goes, "Okay, well, I don't know what happened to it." And then so I said, "Okay, right now, I'm not going to worry about it." You know what I'm saying? Because look, he has that, how can I put it? He has 5 different wedding rings from me. Okay. I mean, because every time his finger would outgrow it, I
Yeah,
would be like, let's go get a new ring, you know? So he has
yeah,
5 different wedding rings. Me compared to my 3. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I slept on it. I woke up and then he says, "Hey, go through your jewelry real quick." I went through my jewelry. Why did I have his ring? And then I remember, hey, you gave it to me because I could fit it. He was like, no, no, I want it, I want it back. I'm gonna resize it for one of the girls. I'm like, oh my God, you know, it's a nice ring, And he's like, you don't even wear gold, you know. So that was kind of, it tickled me because it kind of reminded me of what I just went through, you know. But I found the ring, you know, and it's crazy. Brandon doesn't have a clue. It looks like their house is pretty clean. So where could that ring be, Brandon? You know, is it at the office? Where's the ring? I like to find out the answer to that. I hope they come to a conclusion on it.
She already said that. She already said that she wants a new ring. So since it's a, so I don't think they might have that conversation again about rings.
Hmm.
I don't think they would have that conversation about rings. But anyway, now then moving forward, they had this conversation about him once moving back. What's his plan? How does he plan on moving back? Then they brought in the kids. Um, Firstly, do you think the kids were it was okay for kids that young to be, talking about that situation? Do they really do understand as they are that as they are kids like that? Do they really understand the gravity of what they are talking about? Because I feel like kids, when we're kids, we're just like, you know what? I just want to, I remember when I was a kid, I was like, I want to be an adult. Like, I love how, when you're an adult, you go out, you want to go out, you do things how you want to do it. Nobody has to, your mom will not be bossing you around. I wanted to do all those things when I was a kid, you get. But when I became an adult, I was like, oh, wow. Wow. I never knew that this was what it involved. Then when I'll be like, what, very soon I'm gonna, I'm just gonna get like older and I'm gonna be free and everything. Now getting older, you realize that, yeah, it's not what you thought. I'm trying to like explain how, as childish as we used to think then, get that everything was gonna be okay. Like we just see things the way we see things in a different light than people that are really really going through those things. So I feel like as they are small kids, I don't think they really do understand. Yes, they want their dad. That is a normal feeling. No child doesn't want their dad in their life. I understand that they want their dad in their life and want him to be around there, but still, do they really understand the gravity of the situation between the mom and dad? Should they really I feel like the opinion should matter because yes, I myself don't want the kids to grow up. I don't love a home where the children have to grow without any of their parents. So I love that they brought them together. But the question is, do they really like? Do they really understand the gravity of everything that is happening? And the way Brandon himself now said, now that's my first question to you. Do you think that the kids really do understand the gravity of what was going on or what is going on between their parents? Then when the child daughter was like, you know what, dad, you were at fault. And he was like, oh, how do you know? The first thing he said was, what has your mom been feeding you? So, for you to go as much as saying that um I'm the one at wrong. And I don't think at that moment he like that's why I say that there are signs that he has been showing me that let me know that he is really not really, really. I just feel like he's selfishly doing this just because he just wants to have a home where he can see his kids, not really because he wants to be there. And he really, really wants to be there because why is your first question that when your daughter said you were the one at fault, your first question is why is it only me at fault? Why is your mom too not at fault? Those kind of things. I don't think you should have said that in front of the kids or said that as a return to what the daughter said. That is just my opinion.
Well, you got to understand these kids these days are so intelligent. They're really really smart, right? They're nosy also. So if you're conducting an argument or a disagreement in front of kids, and your voice gets a little loud, they're going to stop doing what they're doing and they're going to pay attention to what you're saying, you know. And kids are smart because you tell them that's not good behavior. You acting like that, that's not nice. So when they see somebody acting not so nice, it kind of puts in their head that this person doesn't act nice at times.
Yeah.
So maybe they seen daddy not acting nice. Maybe they seen mommy crying, you know. So,
Yeah. I understand. No, I understand that part. I was like,
right.
no, the first question, my first question was, do they really understand? Them, they were like, oh, I want daddy back home. And I'm like, do they really understand? Because yes, they are seeing just like I said, they are just seeing what they are seeing and they are judging what they are seeing. And that's what I too did as a kid. I
Right.
just see what I see and I judge with what I see. But I'm not really, really like now as an adult, I don't really judge by what I see. I need to I still go in depth to understand what exactly, because sometimes we know what we see is deceiving.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what we see that is really, really the situation. So they are judging with what they are seeing, and that's a kid mentality. It's not wrong. Yet, do with that way that they are thinking innocently, do you think that them now, Christine putting them in that situation to have to, be like, okay, you know what, tell your dad whether he should come back or not, whether all those kind of things. Do you think that that was right? And do you think that the kids had so much understanding for them to, make that kind of, or give an opinion of the situation?
Well,
Since I feel like, yeah, can
okay,
go on,
yeah,
can go on.
yeah. I'm old school. You know what I'm saying? Kids should
Yeah,
stay out of adults' business because mentally they're not equipped to make decisions as an adult. You know, and adult business is adult business. So yeah, I would have handled it a lot differently. You know, I wouldn't have asked their opinion. I wouldn't have uh, made them part of the conversation. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would have handled that a lot differently. But since she did, because these younger mothers now, I notice they let their children voice their opinions. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. Back in my day, nah, you can't voice your opinion. You don't have a dog in this fight. You know what I'm saying? You don't pay bills. So you have no opinion to voice. You know? It's like when an example. When I was young, my mom would make breakfast. If you didn't like it, then don't eat. Kids now, they tell their parents what they gonna eat for breakfast. No, just get me a piece of toast and some fruit or some yogurt. You know what I'm saying? They tell their parents what they're going to eat, you know?
yeah,
Because now you have moms cooking three different meals because this kid don't like that kid don't like that, and that kid don't like that. No, back in my day, hey, once your mom cooked whatever it was enough to get you full. Now, if you don't want to eat it, that's on you. And sometimes you had to sit at the table the whole night till it was gone. you know. So yeah, I would have handled it differently. But these younger moms, they do things a different way. Which way is the better way? I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know because these kids now are smarter. They're walking at 6 months. They're holding their head up at 2 days old. Back in my day, they didn't hold their head up for like 3 months. Like these kids are incredible, you know, and they're very intelligent, you know. So yeah, things are done different now.
well, I hope that for their marriage, because I love the two of them, and I hope that they can really, really reconcile, and everything is authentic and not just because of cameras and for the show, um or because of storyline, or I hope everything is really, really authentic and they are working on their marriage to be better and be better parents to their kids. I really do hope. Because one thing I'm gonna hate is because people do things because of the cameras are rolling and they want
Mhm.
to, in their own way, give us a good storyline. That I'm not gonna stand for at all.
Right. And I did
Um,
wanted to add a little something when you said it seemed to you like
yeah,
Brandon is trying to just get back in the house. To me too. It seems like he is, look, he is desperate. He's tired of being at his mom's. He's probably tired of, you know, all his partying and everything else that he does. He wants it's almost like you let your dog out the house for the first time and he runs away. And then once he's tired and he's hungry, and and he wants some water, he sniffs his way back to where home is, you know? And then
yeah.
he's good for a while. You let him back in, you feed him, he go lay in the shade, he gets his water, you know. Then after a while he gets restless and jumps the fence again, you know. Or as soon as you open the door, he's out. He pushes you out the door. Out the way so he can run. Like I just have a feeling about Brandon. I'm always pretty close and pretty right on what I be seeing. It just seems like he is coming back for all the selfish reasons. You know?
I also feel like that. Not only you.
Yeah.
I
It doesn't
from
even look
from
sincere.
from the episode one,
Yeah.
from the jump. I don't
Yeah.
want to make I don't want anybody to feel anyhow. This is just my opinion. Watching the
Mhm.
show, and you know me, I don't like to judge people on shows or everything. But of course,
Right.
we're here to give our opinions about what we watch. Now, me
Right.
watching him and listening to what he says, it's for one day from episode one, this is episode four, it has never given me, yeah, this moment is authentic. This particular moment is an authentic moment. Like I've been searching for that moment where I would say, okay, fine. Maybe then he was not just really, ready. Maybe this moment, yeah, this moment showed me that he is really, really ready. I have been waiting for that moment till now, and I haven't seen it where it shows me that really, really, really that Brandon wants to be back to the house. It has never, I have not had that feeling like just that moment of clarity. I'm like, okay, yes, he does want to be in the house. He really
Mhm.
does want to be in the house. I haven't had that, that feeling. So, but you know what? Oh well, that's them. That's them. That's them. She's happy where she is. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, that she's happy where she is. Uh, Now there were some other things that happened in the episode where I felt like it was irrelevant. Like I didn't understand why they're showing us why the guys met up. There was nothing really that important that happened in that meeting. Although I thought that between Marcel and what's his name, Bravo, there was gonna be something, but he ended up not being anything. You know, um, then the ladies met up. That part I thought when I saw that ladies meeting up, I thought there was hope for this group. I thought there was gonna be hope for the group, but since like in next week's episode they're gonna tarnish that thought away from my head. I did think there was hope for these ladies after this middle because it felt as if everybody was sincere. Sometimes it's good to bond over the issues you have, and all of them bonded over the fact that they had a lot of things going on in their lives, and they were still trying to be good mothers and good wives to their husbands. So it looked like, okay, yes, there was hope for this group. Uh, I guess they disappointed me in that. Um, Lastly, let's talk about so that we'll round up for this episode. Let's talk about the time the buying of the ring. Now, when I say I haven't seen any authentic moment for Brandon for me that says yes, this moment is a moment that be like, okay, fine, this guy really wants to come back home. You want to buy a ring. You invite Kristen's best friend. That is understandable. Yeah, because she can choose what she's Kristen's best friend. She knows what Kristen likes. She knows the store she will like, how many diamonds, how many carats, or anything you want to do. Then you also invite her niece. That is understandable because that's her niece, that's her family.
Right.
You also invite Kolby. And I'm like, these ladies are not really that close. Then
Mm-hmm.
you also invite LaToya. And I'm like, damn, what the heck is happening here? You want to get just one ring. It's just one ring. It's not two, it's not three. Just one ring for your wife. And you're bringing four ladies. What do the four ladies, what would they do? The four of them, I feel like it's already a crowd. Yeah, because getting a ring should not be like that. And it's not like it's your first time. You're just posing for the first time. You're like, you want to do a you know, I don't know whether they're doing remarriage or anything, but this is not the first time you're getting her a ring. And you came in with four people, two people that are not really that close with her anymore. Then the remaining two are family and best friend. If, to my own opinion, the only people that should have been there with him to better say the taste of his wife should have been the niece and the best friend. The niece is even a grace. I feel like the niece too is not supposed to be there, but the niece and the best friend. Every other person should go home. Every other person had no reason to be there. And I now got pissed off that at that moment they were there supposed to be picking a ring for your wife. It turned into a match between the best friend and Kolby and LaToya. And I'm disappointed at that best friend because if you are my best friend and oh my God, you fucked up like that, where I was supposed to get my ring picked and you did that nonsense, that was very awful of her. And you were calling them names. One thing I always say, I am one person I know that will have fights, will have quarrels. I've had fights with people who have had quarrels with people. One thing I always say is that whenever you want to use your words, use your words. Whenever you want to express yourself, express yourself. But one thing that I don't like is when we start expressing ourselves, we would enter insults. We enter calling each other names. That is the part me I used to like, I dislike. When we are having a conversation or we're having an argument, it's not enters into calling of names or insults. That part literally offs me. It does. And I don't like how the best friend started calling them names. Even when Kobe was like trying to tell her that, you know what? And she just went hit hard. Like, it's been 1 year. Isn't she supposed to be facing the husband? Why is she facing LaToya? And I didn't understand. And the way Brandon stood there like a statue, giving an excuse for himself, and a very stupid one for that matter, that, oh, the guys, we decided that we're not going to put our mouth in women's stuff. That's why I'm not going to. I'm like, dude, you came here to pick a ring for your wife. If there's one thing I would do, I would tell everybody, shut the F up. I came here to pick a ring for my wife, and that's what we're doing. Any other issue you have, meet yourself at another time and discuss those issues. You allow them to be disrespectful, and that's what makes me feel like he's not serious with coming back to Christine. And another thing I also didn't like was the fact that LaToya decided that, oh, because of that she was not going to come for the birthday party. I'm like, I feel like LaToya is she's this kind of way that she's kind of like me. Sometimes when I feel like there's insult so much and I know you might be somewhere, I tend to always avoid that place, even if it's somebody I know. As far as I can avoid you in total, as far as we cannot have that argument or fight whenever we see each other, I will do that. So, but me, I didn't like the fact that you guys are trying to build your friendship back, and because of the insult from her best friend, you decided not to come again to the party. That did not make sense to me. So that's just my fact. I didn't like the fact that the best friend was fighting, and I also didn't like the fact that LaToya disinvited herself.
Okay, so when I seen the part of the scene, I was like, okay, her niece, that's cool. Oh, her best friend, okay, that's cool too, you know. And when I seen Kobe and LaToya, come in, I'm like, wait a minute, didn't they all just kind of make up? You know, they're still
Yeah.
like trying to get this friendship to work. Now you done already, Brandon, invited them to the party. That's an olive branch. You know what I'm saying? Now you got them
Yeah.
in there and helping pick out a ring. So now you got four women with four different opinions. That's gonna make it even harder. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't like the same kind of ring. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I thought that that was gonna be a disaster because I do remember at the wine tasting how Christina's best friend got into it with Anthony,
Yeah.
and LaToya, you know, and they kind of chopped her down, really, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know if this is their first time seeing each other since then, you know, but evidently they had some problems on the internet, where LaToya was like, hey, well, you've been saying don't buy from her, don't support her business, and, all this other stuff. And the best friend was like, okay, but do you have a snapshot of it? You're not bringing receipts. I didn't say nothing bad. I don't know who to believe. I wasn't following the story, you know. But when they got into the argument, you know, I thought that Kobe didn't really have anything to do with this, you know, and she just kind of voiced her opinion, and she couldn't handle the heat, because little mama was going off, you know,
Yeah.
and she just couldn't handle the heat. Good that she left. Being pregnant, you don't need the extra stress.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm happy that she left, you know. But LaToya, I figured LaToya was gonna leave right along with her, but LaToya sat there, she listened, she talked back, you know. I I I was impressed by LaToya, the way she handled it, because she did get called out of her name. It wasn't a bad word, but it was out of my name. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So yeah, I like the way she handled that. She handled that very maturely, without putting her down, bidded them a good night, and made her exit. Yeah, and it was Brandon wrong for trying to do so much. Yeah, it's like he's overdoing, overacting, you know, trying to get back in, so yeah, I just knew that that was just a disaster waiting to happen. I just wondered how they were going to handle it. And then another thing, if I'm having a beef with you, I'm gonna try and find some kind of way to reach out. If it's through a DM, then it's through a DM, and it would be something like, "Hey, look, we're not agreeing on things. Could you call me at your earliest convenience? Here's my number." You know, but evidently it must not been that big of a thing if she's not reaching out. And that's on either side. If I see you putting something bad about me on the internet, I don't have your number, you know. I'm gonna DM you. You know, and I'm be like, hey, get with me. Here's my number. We need to talk. You know? So the phone works two ways. I'm not gonna wait until we see each other, and I'm gonna talk about it. And if you want to meet after we talk, then cool, we gonna meet. You know, but I'm not gonna
Hmm.
wait 9 months until I see you, and you know, I don't have time for that. You don't get to steal my energy like that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe in the forthcoming episodes, he will show that he's serious with it. But
Mhm.
I can't wait for next week, especially for the fact that the birthday party has finally come, and yeah, I can't wait for that next week episode.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it also. Because I want to see the party and what happens. Did he get the ring for her? You know, and I want to see what all the negativity is about. I thought everybody was on a good page.
Uh, I you know what? I like I say they disappointed me because I thought everybody was gonna be merry from now on, but seeing the trailer, I was disappointed for next week episode. I was really
Short lived,
disappointed.
huh?
I was really disappointed. But you know what? That's one thing. That's what makes TV great. We're gonna come back here next week, and after we watch it, I'm sure we're gonna have a laugh, either have a cry, have a laugh, whatsoever one. After watching the episode, we'll know how we feel about it.
Mhm.
Then, but anyway, guys, this is where we're gonna come to an end for today. Thank you guys for joining us on our live. Thank you for the likes. Thanks for the subscribe. I appreciate it. We'll see you guys same time next week for another recap of Love and Marriage Detroit. Have a nice day, guys.
Bye.
Bye.